Well, I think the real broader issue is that, when we look at the US administration's policies, we've seen some flip-flopping on these policies. The question, I guess, is, we're going to see in the next few months what they really are, where things stand. We've had the first 100 days. There's been a lot of executive orders. Now, I think the administration obviously wants to try and boil down to some of the real policy agendas, which is obviously healthcare reform, which has been pushed back, tax reform, which is going to be significant and potentially not until later this year, of course, fiscal stimulus. So this is what the markets have been waiting for. As we saw in the post-Trump rally, this is what we saw being priced into the market to some extent, and a lot of that hasn't really panned out yet. So I think, for us, looking at some of these measures, or these new measures, is going to be, and for Asia, of course, there's been tariffs. There's been no significant tariffs from the region against China or any other country, and I think that's helped benefit Asian exporters, Asian currencies. So let's see what happens, but I think for now, it does look like a lot of these aren't panning out.
And that's still continuing, right? I mean, we saw this market rally on the back of expectations, which has certainly been tempered down somewhat over the last few
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of it's been tempered down. Although what we would say, I mean, certainly our equity guys have also looked at the fact that some of the rally that we've seen, for instance, in US equities has been justified by growth numbers, which have been pretty robust. Of course, the Q1 number aside, which we would say is seasonal.
We won't talk about that, okay.
But we even see that as temporary. And secondly, also by earnings, which have also been performing reasonably well as well. And we've already seen that in this quarter's earnings season. Absolutely.
I expect the strongest growth in about 6 years.
So a lot of that does justify some of the, certainly according to our analysts.
But those earnings have also been helped by expectations, right? Because, I mean, that comes down to basic economics of people spending more if they think they're going to get increase in wages, etc., etc.
Also, I mean, a lot of it is still, it's not so much top line. We're still looking for that. It's taking the cost out of the business.
Yeah.
Right?
It is, and that's absolutely right. I mean, some of it, of course, is cost reductions, which is not a sustainable way to boost your earnings. But the second, also, as you say, is on expectations. But, I think if we see, for instance, a significant corporate tax cut, that could boost companies' EPS quite sharply, and that really could then justify maybe not just current equity valuations, but potentially even further gains in equity. So a lot depends on what happens, I think, now going forward in terms of things like the corporate tax rate and whether we already do see a cut to 15%, or in our view, probably that seems aggressive, but maybe even down to 20% or somewhere close to that.